Hello everyone, today is quite an important video, okay? The video today is why did I actually leave teaching? So as you can see from the back here, we have actually got a pros and cons list, and what I'm going to do is go and have a deeper dive in regards to them. Now, obviously, the first thing when you actually are talking and thinking about, oh, this guy's actually a teacher. Well, what's the first thing? Honestly, what are you thinking? Well, it is this, okay? So hopefully I can point in the right way. It is holidays, okay? That is potentially the first thing you're thinking when it comes to someone working as a teacher, thinking they're getting 100 days off a year. Sounds amazing, doesn't it? It really does sound amazing. But the reality is you're actually paying through the nose for holidays. And again, that goes on again, the cons column straight away. So the holidays, yes, of course, it is nice to get 100 days off a year. Every time that I was talking to my friends, they were like, we're getting what, 25, 30. And it just seemed that I was always off. But the reality is, sadly, as a teacher, yes, you do get 100 days off, but you're not off. Yes, you do have a lot more days off. Okay, so let's say you probably have 50, 60. The rest of them, you do work. You either do your marking, you do your planning. And sadly, due to the fact that you're actually working all the time and thinking, I've got to do this, I've got to do the best of the kids, the best of the kids, you end up getting on holiday and getting sick. And if anyone's out there watching this video, you can actually agree it is common occurrence how you've actually breaking for the holidays and you do get ill. The second post that we've got is progression. Now, when it comes to teaching and a progression, you've actually got certain pay scales. So that means that each year, if you do the right things, if you meet your targets, you do get more money. So not only you get an increase in salary due to inflation, you also get an increase in the next pay scale. So you start with an M1, which I believe at the moment in time is 28,000. It goes all the way up to M6, which is, I actually wrote the numbers down. So if you bear with me. So on M1, which is 30,000, apologies. M1 is 30,000. M6 is 41,333. Then after that, so that should take you really 6 years to get to that M6. After that, you get a progression every 2 years in your salary, and it starts from the upper pay scale, which is 43,266, all the way up to UPS 3, UPI. I call it UPS 3, upper pay scale 3, which is 46,525. So, how do you get that? Well, this says every 2 years, and again, if you meet your targets, or if you like myself, I was moving from school to school, getting different responsibilities, and getting myself all the way up to that UPS 3 salary. So it took me, I want to say, 8 years to get to that salary. It should have taken us 12 years to get to that, simply because I was moving from school to school and I had different roles and responsibilities. Now, 46,000 is not bad at all. Yeah, so especially when you can actually see the progression and you can see the money. And of course, that is your base salary. The more responsibilities you add, the more money you can get. The majority of staff members will have a TLR if they want the responsibility. But again, that comes with a con. It is what I think it was, minimum TLR2 is 3,214, maximum is 7,147. But that means you're actually saying goodbye to your weekends, because the reality is they probably give you 2-3 hours to do that job, and that job is going to take you 6 to 8 hours. So therefore, you are digging into your own time. So yes, of course, you have got the progression, but unfortunately, you are sacrificing quite a lot of your personal time for it. So therefore, I've got cons. Okay, so let's do one by one each time. Cons is the stress. Now, it comes without saying, if you have got someone, a relative, a friend that is a teacher, the majority of them will say they are stressed. You're stressed, and it's not dealing with kids. And honestly, I've never had it because of the kids. I've been very, very lucky that I've worked with some amazing kids. Don't get me wrong, yeah, you're going to have 30 amazing kids and you've only got one that is annoying, yeah, and that could ruin your day. Let's put it that way. But the stress comes with the marking, it comes with the observation, it comes with the meetings. Now, when it comes to marking, you have marking, first of all, exams. So you're marking at the end of term where you're thinking, oh, yes, I have got an extra few hours to myself, because the kids are actually quiet doing the exam. But you've got the marking to do, which will take you per class 2 to 3 hours. Then you've got the marking of books, which you should be doing it fortnightly. If you're a math teacher, luckily you'll get 6 to 7 classes, let's say. But if you're a language teacher, if you're a science, chemistry, biology teacher, you will be having 21 set of books because you will have different sets. And you only see them twice, but you see twice 6 different sets. So, yeah, it is quite a lot harder for other subjects. More than I felt bad because I was looking at people constantly marking, and I'm thinking, did you not mark yesterday? Yes, but this is another class over and over again. So hence the stress and the meetings. The meetings are never ending. There is meetings just to have meetings. There's meetings just to tick boxes. Which the majority of them could actually be summarized over an email, and that's the reality of working as a teacher. You're shaping futures. That's a massive prawn. Working with kids, and honestly, it is the best feeling ever. The If you enjoy it and you're doing it not to because you've got a complex and you want to have that authority figure, if you're doing it because you really are enjoying teaching, there is no better profession. And honestly, working with kids and seeing the difference, like I was very lucky. I had kids from year 7 all the way up to year 13. So seeing pupils that I taught in year 10 go to year 12 and year 13 and seeing them mature, applying for universities is the best feeling ever. And honestly, yes, it sounds cheesy, but dearie me, I loved seeing those kids actually growing and maturing. Yeah, so it's just amazing working with people who are going to be actually shaping the future. So really pleased with that. Now, uh, another negative that I've actually got there, I've got parents' evenings, report cards. You're spending 3 hours speaking to people, repeating the same thing over and over again. You want to speak to really one kid that is annoying. You want to speak to the parents, and guess what? They're not showing up. So really, even though you had a whole parents' evening, you were thinking, at least I get to speak to this person's parent. They don't show up. And second thing, you've actually got reports, which takes 3 to 6 hours to write, and people don't actually even read them, sadly, because all they care about is what grade they've actually got for that term. Positives, okay. Working with clever and funny people. And honestly, I have worked with some amazing people when it comes to teaching. Yes, of course, they're brilliant teachers, but a lot of them are just hilariously funny. For a lot of teachers, one of the best part of the day is actually spending that time in the staff room and hearing stories. And believe it or not, a lot of teachers have actually got a life outside of teaching. So it's just funny to actually hear these stories and just seeing people being so clever, so eloquent, especially my last school. I worked in a grammar school. It's just so nice to actually see clever people having conversations. And yeah, it was just, it was literally is amazing working with some amazing people and people that I've not spoken to for 2, 3 years, but if I saw in the street, I'd be again extremely happy to see. Which not the same thing for the people I used to work with Sports Direct with. Fair enough, yeah, I've got a best mate out of work at Sports Direct, but the rest is one of those things. Right, next thing, let's see what we've got afterwards, is having time off hinders everyone. I can't even spell off. Having time off hinders every single person in that school. Now, if you are off ill, first of all, you're going to start feeling the guilt because you are off ill. So that means somebody else needs to cover. So that means it might be if they've not got an agency staff, it is another staff member in that school that's covering during their free time. The kids are not going to get in the same quality lesson as with you delivering the lesson. So having time off, it is just such a massive annoyance for the school, and you end up feeling super guilty about it too. If you're ill, again, you're just thinking, I'm ill, but you're still trying to actually plan the lessons for the day in order to provide the best for the kids. And the other problem that you've actually got is what you need a medical appointment. What if you need to book an MOT or something? And I guess that's going towards my final answers to why I actually dropped it off. Is having meetings. Okay, so I wanted to attend meetings with my little one, okay, for vaccinations and whatever meetings with the doctors. I wanted to attend them, but I couldn't actually get all of them off simply because the kids have got exams, and it's completely understandable. It does go with a lot of jobs like that, but you just cannot book a day off that you want for yourself. Say, for example, it's your partner's birthday. You cannot book it off. If it's term time, then all is good. But if it's not term time, that's not happening. Let's see, spending more time. Sorry, I've got amazing pension. Okay, I mentioned pension as a massive option. Massive, massive positive. I believe it is 23.6, 23.6% contribution your employer puts towards your teacher pension, which is an outstanding amount for a pension. Hence as to why a lot of teachers actually leave the profession with a really, really good pension, and is one of the main things they actually talk about. Again, even if you passed away during in time in service, that money can actually get passed on to your partner. So it's a brilliant, brilliant scheme when it comes to the pension scheme. But the massive negative that I've got there is spending more time with other people's kids. And it got me that. My last school, it was second to last year before I broke up. I heard somebody actually talking about I am 50, 60, and I've ended up actually spending more time with other people's kids. And for me, it was just a light bulb moment. From that moment on, I was like, well, how do I spend more time with my kid? And the reality was, for me to spend more time with my kid is I had to change my job. I had to quit that 9 to 5 and to create a bit more freedom for myself. Now, luckily, throughout my teaching career, the last 4 years, really, I would actually say I was actually doing Amazon on the side. Eventually, I thought, let's do a bit of YouTube too. And those combined gave me the courage to actually jump up and do it full time. Now, in all honesty, if I was just doing Amazon, I don't think I would have actually quitted my job. The reason as to why I've been able to quit my job was partly YouTube. It's a big, big part of it. And I'm not talking about the YouTube payments. I'm talking about the affiliate payments that happen because people like yourselves are actually watching this channel and thinking, well, Nick has actually been using Awesome for 2 years. I'm going to click on his referral link. And that helps so much, okay, because it doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me. I've been able to actually use the affiliates to pay for the mortgage, and then that's a massive, massive relief. Just think about it: your mortgage is paid off, and then I'm not a person that goes out drinking. I'm not a person that goes out often, really. So I knew I could actually do it. It was also a perfect storm because working as a teacher, that means you stop in mid-July. So you do get paid all the way through July. You get all the paid through August. So I put my resignation in March, I believe. So I knew I was quitting in March. But I knew I had a month and a half. In fact, I actually had enough money to pay myself, to not needed the company to pay myself for 3 months after it. So just figures to have in your head with it. So I was stopping in August. So my last paycheck from school was August. And I knew that I didn't actually, a company didn't need to pay me until November. November, December, actually, even, sorry, December. So that's one of the things that I had. I thought, well, what I'm going to do with the pension, I've got a really good pension with that. Yes, of course, you don't lose it. And I think in the contributions that I'm going to be doing from my side is going to be 300 towards each month towards the S&P 500. And that'll be through the business actually paying. And that means it's tax deductible up to 40k each year. So I thought, why not just do 300 quid a month? Let's start it with that and see where it goes. And as I said, I did start doing it in September. So I knew I had Q4. I knew I had a strong period of time where I could actually maximize and make the most income. And I believe I did 65,000 sales in December. So yeah, I think that's what the perfect storm really for us. And the reality is that if everything goes bottoms up and I do need to get another job again, I can. Yeah, I could actually just go in straight into teaching, get into a comfortable, 42k salary. I could do it straight away, but it's never going to happen. And honestly, having the freedom to just go out whenever I want to, just spending so much time with a little one is worth it all stress in the world. And it's a different kind of stress once you are responsible for your own income. It's a completely different kind of stress. Like, especially if you enjoy what you're doing too, I guess. Like, I love what I'm doing. I'm just in the garage pottering around, you know what I mean? I'm in a garage recording videos. It's a different kind of stress. Yes, of course, I still have to pay my bills, but I'm enjoying the journey. Okay, there's a lot of people that their journey is let's get all the way up to retirement age, and then we're going to start enjoying life. Well, I don't want to do that. For me, I just want to enjoy the journey. Okay, I want to be like, well, Nick, you're 33 now. what you're doing, well, you've created 2 companies, uh, you're spending so much time with your little one, you're being a great father, a great husband, and you're extremely happy with it. Am I tired? Yes, I am tired. I'm exhausted, and honestly, I'm absolutely exhausted, but I'm very, very happy with my decision, and the decision comes to this, okay, at the end, yes, the money and everything, but this was it. I was spending more time with other people's kids than my own, and that's what threw us over the edge. In all honesty, that's what threw us over the edge with it, and I thought, Nick, let's do it full time, and I've never looked back. I now pay myself a salary. I'm educating myself constantly with taxes, with what the benefits of having a limited company. I constantly look at videos and how to do things better. Hopefully, you've actually seen a difference in their videos here too. Okay, so upgrading, like I've got a mic now. When I first started, I was doing everything with a GoPro. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this kind of video. It just gives you a bit of an idea of as to why I quit teaching, the cause, the cons, the pros with it. Gives you an idea really of my decision making on it. Um, I've had a lot of people actually asking us, when did you realize was the right time? Well, I had enough money to not pay myself for 3 months, plus I was going to Q4. For me, it was a perfect storm really for us to do it. And that gave me an idea that, Nick, yes, you can actually pay yourself. The big one is, can you actually pay yourself? Can you afford to pay yourself and live? You don't want to be scraping. Yeah, that's what I thought anyways. And that's what I've done. So if you enjoyed this video, if you can like, subscribe, that'd be amazing. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Like, this is quite an honest video. I sat down and wrote down the pros and cons. That's what it is. This is the reason as to why I quit teaching.